Hello, everybody. This is Rod Saunders from Jew and Greek. You know, there's a former Word of Faith minister named John Samson who converted to Calvinism a few years back and is now presenting himself as an authority on all things Word of Faith. In this clip, you'll hear John say that Word of Faith teachers who claim to have had a visitation from Jesus show no sense of awe in describing their encounter.
Because they rely on what they call revelation knowledge, that we, the people, are seeking it. And Brother Big Shot, the preacher, he's got it. He's had a visitation from Jesus, and Jesus has told him about money. That's exactly the claim of Kenneth Hagin. That's exactly the claim of these guys. I've been in services where Jerry Savelle, who's kind of the understudy of Copeland, talked about Jesus coming into his room and telling him what he's to preach the next year. And again, it's this no awe of God, no. I was just slayed in my sin as I saw Christ and his majesty. Nothing of that. No, he's talking about ministry and about how to get more money for the next year.
No awe of God. Well, let me read from Kenneth Hagin's account of a couple of his visions of Jesus. On page 50 of his book, I Believe in Visions, he was discussing his first vision of Jesus in September of 1950 in Rockwell, Texas, when he said, "As I looked into his face and into his eyes, I fell at his feet." I think that would qualify as being struck by awe. But he went on to say, "I laid the palms of my hands on the top of his feet and laid my forehead on the backs of my hands. Weeping, I said, 'O Lord, no one as unworthy as I should look upon your face.'" I think that would qualify as being awestruck by the Lord's majesty and holiness. Then on page 98 of the same book, he was telling the story about Jesus walking into his hospital room when he said, "Cold chill bumps popped out all over my body, and I couldn't say a word." Again, awestruck. Now, as for Jerry Savelle, let's read what he said in his book, Living in Divine Prosperity, where he recounted the visitation he experienced in his hotel room in Charlotte, North Carolina in 1981. "His presence engulfed me. It filled the room. In fact, after the Lord had finished talking with me, his presence, the Shekinah glory of God, was still so strong in my room that it woke Carolyn," that's his wife. "She ran in and said, 'What's happening in here?' I said, 'The Lord just visited me.' We got so caught up in his presence that when the waiter brought the meal, we couldn't even eat. I could hardly talk or think. I was so taken aback by what had happened." So you can see how John Samson's account is at best inaccurate and at worst dishonest. Yet another example of a Word of Faith critic who isn't content to disagree but feels compelled to misinform. Thanks for watching.